Homemade bookmarks! Here's a fun DIY sewing project you can do in about 5 or 10 minutes. These are made from old pajamas, 100% cotton, that I inserted a recycled card into. So I made these from cardstock. I used an old Barilla pasta box label that you'll see in a second right here as my template. And I just drew and cut out these rectangular book-sized inserts that we're going to be inserting into our homemade bookmarks. So you can use virtually any heavy card material. This is an old piece, scrap of pajamas that I used to own, 100% cotton. You want to choose something with a pattern that's going to read well on the card size I just showed you. So this pattern is a little on the big side, but it'll still work. I like to use things that already have a seam in them at the bottom, because then that's less sewing for me. That's what I was pointing out there. So you're going to want to fold it over wrong side out and line up the seam that's already been made, or the end of the fabric, with the other side so that it's even. So you can see I have my card insert here, and we're going to use that as a pattern. We're actually going to sew around it. So I've lined it up. You want to leave a little bit of leeway at the top edge, or whatever is going to be the bottom edge, so that you have room to stuff it in and it's not going to show. So then I just pin it with fabric pins. And you're not going to want that wrinkle like I have, but I was in a hurry. So you're going to want to pin it all the way through, and then sew the short side and the long side, and then cut it off. So here I'm going to sew the long side. As you can see, I'm right up to the edge of the card, but we already have a little bit of leeway on the right side. You can see the seam I've made there. I like to double stitch it so that it's reinforced, and you can choose any stitch you like, but I've sewn right up to the edge of the card, more or less. Now I'm going to sew the top. It doesn't matter which side you sew first, just don't sew it all the way around or it's going to be closed. Now I've cut off the excess fabric pretty much right up to the edge of the seam, because you don't want too much excess fabric on the side, because we're going to invert this and you don't want it to bulk up inside the bookmark. So you see I've started inverting it. You can push any long stick-like thing through there to help poke it right side out. I use the edge of my scissors. And now it's completely inverted, and we're going to insert our card that we cut out earlier into the bookmark. Carefully shimmy that in and make it flush with the edge of the bookmark at the top. And you can see, like I pointed out, there's that nice seam on the edge that was already there when the pajamas were stitched. And you can wash